Hi Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I am going to be doing your July 1st to the 15th, 2021 reading for you. Now I ask if this reading resonates with you, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will all be listed and linked in the description box below. Now before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds. Letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. Let's let the bowl sing as we see what the tarot has to say. Sagittarius, July 1st to the 15th, 2021, Sagittarius. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Sagittarius, July 1st to the 15th, 2021, Sagittarius. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Ooh. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Sagittarius, July 1st to the 15th, 2021, Sagittarius. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides. Ooh, goodness. Like how they're just falling right into place, like just jumping out. And finally, Sagittarius, July 1st to the 15th, 2021, Sagittarius. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels. So at the bottom here, we have the rooted self. The left-hand side is the inner self. The middle, the heart, the emotional self. The right-hand side, the public arena, the public self. So let's see what the cards have to say. We have the Hermit, which is Virgo energy. Time frame is August 23rd to September 22nd. Then we have the King of Cups, water sign energy, Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer. If you're born on the cusp with Scorpio or you have water sign energy in your chart, this part of your personality is going to be coming out quite intensely. So do be mindful of that. We then have the Seven of Pentacles and the Five of Swords. Very interesting. There is a tremendous need for us to be patient with ourselves, Sagittarius, especially when it comes to the realm of money and the ideas that we are putting forward being recognized. We're going to want things, of course, as all humans do, to be instantaneous and to come forward with tremendous power. But this is going to take a bit more time and we're going to be getting frustrated. So do be mindful of that. Also, with the Five of Swords, there is a sense of I'm facing battles that I have faced before, and I'm tired of fighting and refighting them. In our heart, we have the Six of Cups, and we have, again, the Seven of Pentacles. So the Seven of Pentacles now showing up within the heart area. It's almost like it's showing up within the heart chakra to say, I need to be patient with what I am developing, with how things are developing. Again, there's a restlessness to us that does need to be addressed. Within our public arena, we have the Queen of Swords, air sign energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, and then we have the Knight of Cups, again, water sign energy, Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer. But there's this sense of logic and emotion kind of being at war with each other. And then at other points, it's going to be that the emotion, when well armored and saying, this is my heart, this is what I want, starts to defend our logic. We start to put together this sense of emotional understanding and this sense of logical desire to move forward towards what we want more of, towards where we want to stand and who we want to be. But there can be people during this time who try to manipulate us. So that's going to be something to be very mindful of, Sagittarius. And they're going to manipulate us or want to manipulate us in a way where they're saying, I'm just being logical. Like, I'm just using logic. Like, these are just the facts. And yet they're not going to be the facts. They've lied, they've manipulated, they've cheated. And this is going to be something that they can make you feel like, well, you're just going insane. Like, you're just, not literally, but they're going to make you think like, I'm misremembering this, or what's going on here? You know, how did I get this wrong? And you haven't. You're being played. So do be mindful of that. It's going to be from a person who has this authority, a power to them, but I'm not really seeing them as a powerful person. They're going to have this facade made of glass. So that's something to be mindful of, Sagittarius. Sagittarius, July 1st to the 15th, 2021, Sagittarius. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading. And our chakra message is the solar plexus chakra. And here we have inner strength. Now, what I love about inner strength is that, you see here, the person is encapsulated in ice and they're breaking through. And it's almost as if this sense of identity, this sense of power, this sense of intense understanding of self is coming forward. And this is inner strength. This is through the sense of, I'm not letting go of me. I'm not releasing who I am for what others want me to believe or how others want me to think or speak or be. I get to come out in a powerful understanding of me and what I desire. And I'm stepping out of the hardship that I've been through, the hurt and the pain, the disappointment, and I'm stepping into the realization of how strong I am, of how powerful I am, and how beautiful it is to be me. And if you haven't experienced hardships or pains or disappointments in your life, and everything is going hunky-dory, I mean, good for you. That's awesome. But for most people in this world, we have experienced hurts and pains, doubts and fears, and we can pull deeper and deeper into ourselves because of this. And this is where it needs to be addressed. This is where we need to say, what do I want? Where do I want to be? Who am I? And the inner strength comes when we stop playing the game of trying to please others, trying to speak so correctly that everybody will understand. You're going to have people who dislike you. You're going to have people who argue with you and say XYZ. And we have to come to the point where it's okay. It's okay because there's strength within my being and there's purpose within my soul. And it leads us to the energy we need to be mindful of during this time. What is the energy that Sagittarius needs to be mindful of? July 1st to the 15th, 2021, Sagittarius. What is the energy that Sagittarius needs to be mindful of? July 1st to the 15th, 2021, Sagittarius. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. The Lord. And it's that powerhouse. It's that what we see in the public arena. So this person is mainly going to be an outside influence, but it can just be a person who's very used to being in control, embracing their power, embracing what they desire, and saying, this is the way it's going to be. And what's going to be very interesting is that we're very drawn to this type of person during this time because we're going to think they have answers. You know, they're so confident within themselves. They're so strong. It's like, okay, but step back. Step back and see where they've come from. You know, see how they've developed within themselves. How have they fallen? Where have they fallen to? And is this a facade of absolute strength to make up for a weakness inside, for a hurt and a pain that's pulling them down? And that's something to be very mindful of during this time. And at our root, we have to go inward. We have to go inward and say, what's important to me? What do I want? What do I desire? What do I need? Who am I? Where am I within my life? And I know we've had a year of being, kind of locked away, right? But when the hermit comes, it doesn't mean that we have to stop talking to friends and family and just be completely introspective. It means the quiet times matter. And we have to connect with those quiet times. We also have to look around us and say, what's going on here? How is my star being led forward? How am I embracing my passion and my prosperity and my desire and my wants and my dreams and my wishes? Who am I? And where am I to be? The hermit looks at us, honestly, and has us looking inward, because it's so easy to lose ourselves externally, to lose ourselves in what everybody else is getting swept up in, lose ourselves in what everybody else is saying to think or say or be, and forget who we are and our dreams. We tend to think that to have purpose within our lives, our dreams have to be something grandiose. It's a very rare person who says, I like gardening, and I get great joy from it. And that's my purpose here on this earth, to create beautiful patches, to create beautiful pieces of land, and to enjoy them with family and friends. We need to go back to something simpler. Now, I don't know if this is reality TV to be blamed, or social media, or the conglomeration of the both of them. And us being told that if you just believe in your dreams, and if you just work hard enough, anything can be achieved. Because it makes it feel like if I fall short, then it's my fault. And sometimes the way that we're looking at something, the way that we're going after something, it might not just be right for us, or it might not be our time to be within that sphere of being. And it might be that that sphere of being would not fit our souls correctly, and Spirit is actually doing us a favor. What we have to look at is the star that leads us forward, our passion and our desire and our wishes. And how can we encapsulate and incorporate that within our lives, and that within our meaning. And it starts to become a place where we say, I rule only me. At my root, with the King of Cups, I rule only me. And I can only rule myself, my desires, what I want, and what I need. And that seems contrary. We want the king to rule over all the people. But the true king, the one who makes the greatest impact, and you could put this, if you want to Christ or to any religious figure, where they rule by the example of their lives. And that is the most powerful way to be the king of anything, especially of our emotions and our souls and our desires and our wants and our dreams and our wishes. So the King of Cup is telling us there's more here when we look within. And that's what our roots are all about. There's more here when we look within and stop living to somebody else's expectation, desire, wants, needs, wishes, and start being honest with ourselves and saying, okay, this might not be a mansion, I might not drive the latest car and have 18 million of them, but there's beauty here, there's power here, there's intensity here. Let me grow it. Because when we start to grow that intensity of self, we start to grow ourselves, and it leads us to the realm of patience, which nobody likes to be in. Sagittarius, absolutely nobody likes it when Spirit says patience and then says patience again with our hearts. So with the Seven of Pentacles, we need that patience because something is developing, and that's something to be mindful of. We are developing prosperity and bounty and abundance. We do have to be patient with it, because it's not going to be exactly how we had envisioned. It's not going to be exactly what we wanted or, thought it would be. And that's okay. Divinity is saying, let things grow, let things develop, see what is right and see what is wrong. And do the weeding so that, the crops aren't strangled. Take away that which is negative, that is keeping us from even believing in the dream. And that brings us to the Five of Swords. The Five of Swords is having a battle that we've already had. When you weed, you go back and you weed again, and you weed some more. And the battle that we have can be people from our past coming forward and being toxic within our present. And we can look at it and be like, how did you get here? How did you come back in? How did you weasel your way back into my life? How did I get scammed like this again? The Five of Swords is also coming up against situations where we thought, oh, I was past this. I was past this doubt. I was past this fear. I was past this self-sabotage. And yet it comes forward again. So it can be very abstract, the way the Five of Swords encapsulates and incorporates itself into our lives. But there is a sense of, I have to stay true to who I am. And I can't lose faith in me. The inner strength, the solar plexus chakra, is showing us that. I can't lose faith in me. I can't lose sight of me. I can't lose this power and this integrity and this passion of who I am. Now, in our hearts, it's going to be very easy to fall into nostalgia. And that's what we have to be very mindful of. Falling into nostalgia means that we fall into this place where it was better when. It was better when we were given a cup of magic. It was better when the world held wonderment to it, and I wasn't so cynical. But this can also be a time where, yes, we're looking back at wonderment and beauty and success and power and saying, I want that. And the power is in the beauty. You know, that sense of a little kid going, wow, at everything. You open up a box, wow. You go outside and it's raining, wow. And they haven't become cynical yet. They haven't seen it enough for it to lose that wonderment. And sometimes as we get older, you know, that joy, that expression, it gets lessened. We don't walk outside and see the rain and go, wow, this is amazing. We think, oh my gosh, I need my galoshes, I need my umbrella, you know, it's raining again, I can't believe this, my hair is going to get frizzy. Great, you know, and I still have to get to where I need to go. And it's going to take me longer because now there's going to be traffic. We don't say, wow. And we should. We should be connecting with that sense of wonderment that children have. Not all the time, because that would be odd. Or maybe it should be all the time. But just having that joy within our hearts. But also, the Six of Cups says, these are the pains that I've been through, the hurts and the disappointments. And we create a lot of our coping mechanisms from when we're little. We have a lot of the scars, a lot of the things that will hurt us, trigger us, will come from when we're little. And the world was vast and we were small, and we did the best that we could to be the best that we could in whatever circumstance we grew up in. And the Six of Cups is saying within our hearts not to let the voice from our past come forward again. Now, this could be a caregiver, this could be the voice of a caregiver, this could be the voice of a teacher, a best friend, a ex-lover, you know, as we got older, you know, our teen years, and we could have fallen helplessly in love with somebody. And still, when a relationship doesn't work out, or our partner gets mad at us, their voice comes up about how we're worthless, like how we didn't measure up to what they wanted. Or somebody said to us, you know, you're just not that pretty, or you're just not that talented, you're just not that strong, whatever it was. And we look at it and say, you don't get to. You don't get to be that person anymore. That voice inside of my head that has ruled me for so long. And then we have to be patient with ourselves, with our hearts, and the way that we heal. And know that we will fall back. We will digress at times. We will think, it's not worth it. This is such hard work. This is nonsense. And I should just be plowing forward with that sense of, if I stop, everything will fall down. And divinity is saying, no. There needs to be a beauty of expression. There needs to be patience within us. Because if we have everything in our time, it's great. It's great and we can feel great about it. But it's not meaningful. It's not lasting. If we get things too easily, we haven't worked for it. And it can become hard and overwhelming. There has to be a bit of struggle to life. In all the religions of the world, throughout time immemorial, there is struggle, and there is meaning to struggle, because that's what life is. Life, to be born, is a struggle. To grow, it is amazing that we have so many human beings, because to raise a human child is astoundingly hard. And we need to have patience with ourselves, that we don't know everything, that we're still growing, we're still learning, and it doesn't matter our age, whether we're, 16 or 95. There's still more to learn. And there's still patience and divine connection that needs to be had. It leads us then to the Queen of Swords. In our public arena, because we do have this energy around us that is a bit narcissistic, they can also be a bit sociopathic to sit there and spin everything that you say into being like, I don't know what you're talking about, what's going on here, and that's a trait of a narcissistic sociopath. So do be mindful of that. They're scary words, but they don't necessarily have to be that scary a person. They could just seem rather normal. They just don't connect in a quote unquote normal way. So the Queen of Swords here is us taking our power, taking our understanding, and cutting through a lot of doubts and fears, and cutting through a lot of nonsense. Now, it does seem, Sagittarius, that we're going to be faced with a lot of nonsense during this time. A lot of things that want to play mind games. And this is going to be a time where we are facing mind games, even within our heart, where we have the nostalgia coming forward and we have the words from the past that make us doubt our present. It's a mind game. And the patience and the having to face things that we don't want to face anymore, and having to turn inward and see the light and see the stars that guide us and what we need and what we desire. And so the Queen of Swords is cutting through so much nonsense, hurt, pain, disappointment. Is saying, this is the truth I need to live by. She's also the warrior queen. She's ready to fight, and she's able to fight and say, this is what I want, and this is where I'm headed, and this is where I'm going. Now, to be a warrior queen takes initiative, takes confidence, and takes practice. You don't just pick up a sword and are able to use it. There's tremendous amount of practice that goes into it. The Queen of Swords is embracing her strength. And at this time, we're embracing our strength, but in a queen's way. So for me, the kings are the actors upon the stage. People will be able to see the confidence within your heart, within your emotional self, as you're moving forward, Sagittarius. With the Queen of Swords, this isn't for everybody else to know. It's not their business. The Queen of Swords cuts through the doubts and the fears and the hurts and the pains and says, I'm the director behind the scenes. I'm the one who puts everything together, who makes the magic happen, who brings things forward. But you never see me, and I don't want to be seen. And so the Queen of Swords at this time has this ferocity to her, has this intensity to her. But it's not for everybody else. It is for ourselves. So when we are being attacked, the person doesn't realize that we're stronger than we look, doesn't realize that there's this opening of ourselves, doesn't realize this isn't my first rodeo. You know, I've been through this nonsense before, and I will move forward in the tenacity and in the presence of my now. And with the Knight of Cups, with a knight paired with a queen, knights defend queens. And so with the Knight of Cups, this emotional understanding defends us, moves us forward, helps us realize, helps us go after what we want. There's a slower movement than what we want to, because the Knight of Cups is the second slowest moving knight. And as a fire sign energy, we're the second fastest moving knight. So we want things to kind of speed up a bit. But to really be true to our heart, we have to lay a solid foundation, and we have to embrace that solidity. We have to embrace what we are bringing forward. And it's kind of like waiting for ice to freeze. Ice doesn't freeze instantaneously. You know, when we want the lake to freeze up so we can go ice skating, we have to give it time, and then it has to be checked, and everything has to be okay. And so with the Knight of Cups, there is the sense of, I'm moving things forward, but my emotions need to be aligned. And I need to make sure that the water has turned to ice so that I can ride over it, so that I can move forward with the weight of my armor, with the weight of my horse, with my horse having the right, footing, the right snowshoes, or whatever the heck you do. So here, there's this sense of planning, and there's also a sense of intense purpose. Within our public arena self, we have an intense purpose for our hearts to guard our minds. And it doesn't mean that everything, that we have to be ruled just by emotion, or that we have to be ruled just by logic. There's going to be a middle ground that needs to be embraced, that needs to be understood, and that we need to open up to. Now, let's go deeper. Show me deeply the root of Sagittarius. July 1st to the 15th, 2021, Sagittarius. Show me deeply the root of Sagittarius. July 1st to the 15th, 2021, Sagittarius. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels. Ooh. Okay, these two. Oh, 3. I love it. More than we came with. So at our root, we have the Hermit and the Knight of Cups, the King of Cups, which is intense. We have a Major Arcana card, and we have a Court card. We then have the Ten of Swords. And the Ten of Swords is the darkness before the dawn. It is all this logic, all this understanding coming together. It is a sense of what has laid me down and laid me bare. I'm now going to rise from. I'm now going to use that knowledge as a weapon, as a form of conquering, as a form of determination. And it brings me to the Five of Swords. I'm the victor. And people usually say, the Five of Swords is unfair play. Well, in medieval times, to be really quite honest, if you were a knight in medieval times, because you have to be to have a sword, and you won and you gave people back their weapons and you said, good job, well done, you'd be murdered. That would be such a sign of weakness. You could not even imagine. If you lost a duel in medieval times, you would lose everything. You would lose your horse, you would lose your armor, you would lose everything. So you had to be wealthy enough to be able to lose, or at least mad enough to be able to gamble it all. And so here with the Five of Swords, what we're going to see is that a lot has been put on the line. And when you are faced with this opposition, the fact that you won, and you won, means that you get to take away the other person's form of defense. Now, it doesn't mean that you get to be a bully in the real world, because medieval logic and today's logic do not go hand in hand at all. But it does mean that there's this powerful understanding. There's a sense of another sword gained after having been laid flat, after having been attacked and hurt and beaten and tried to destroy you. And now it's like, no more. No more. I'm using everything that I have gathered, all the knowledge that I have gathered, to win, to move forward in ferocity. And that leads us to the Nine of Cups. That leads us to a place where we're protecting what is most sacredly beautiful to us, but we're not really seeing it. We're not really taking it in. So we do have to be mindful about that during this time, to really take in the beauty and the power and the brilliance that is us. That is what we desire, that is what we want, and where it is that we want to be. Other people will be able to see this more clearly than we will. The Nine of Cups is also the wish card. There's a beauty within wishes coming forward, within realizations guiding us. Now, going more deeply into our inner self, showing deeply the inner self of Sagittarius, July 1st to the 15th, 2021, Sagittarius. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Is the Four of Cups. Divinity is handing us a gift. And the thing with the Four of Cups is that it doesn't always feel like a gift at all. It can feel like added weight, one more thing that I have to do, added pressure, added time. But the gift is coming, and it's going to be quite different than what we're used to. And because we're taking on this added burden, or we're learning how to play this game, we're going to find that we start to change, and the power within us, the understanding of the soul and the desire of the self, really starts to open up. And this burden, it might not become the blessing that we thought it would be, but it becomes a powerful opening, a powerful realization that we hadn't thought we could be a part of before. And now for the subconscious, emotional self, not the subconscious, going deeper into the emotional self, showing more deeply the emotional self of Sagittarius. Show me deeply the emotional self of Sagittarius, July 1st to the 15th, 2021, Sagittarius. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Okay, these three, because this one turned itself over and was like, you have to show me. So we have the Fool right here. And the Fool is new beginnings. Interesting. So we start off with strength, and strength is Leo energy, time frame July 23rd to August 22nd. Strength is the realization that it is not brute force strength that will get us where we want to be. This lion isn't by her side because he's chained there and she's whipping him. No, he's by her side because he loves her. And there is strength and real power in love and acceptance and beauty and compassion and understanding. And we're going to see that. Also, right now, the strength card, and it does this at times, it makes me think of Thecla. Now, in Gnostic texts, there's Thecla and Paul. And I believe also in Orthodoxy, Christian Orthodoxy, Thecla is a main saint, or a more prominent saint. And Thecla, in the story of Thecla and Paul always left her when she was getting in trouble, right? When the people came and said, Christians aren't allowed to preach here, leave or else you'll be stoned or fed to sharks or attacked by lions. And that's what happened to them each time. So one time, she was going to be fed to lions and Paul had run away, and she was brought out into this pit, And all the female lions protected her from the male lions. Now, of course, here is, of course, a male lion. But it's that strength. It's that sense of, I'm protected. And there's this divine connection that is going to lead me forward. Now, this doesn't mean that we go off and do anything foolish. But what it is to understand that there's protection in strength of belief, in honor of desire, in the sense of there's a purpose to me. And I'm moving forward in that purpose. And it brings us to the Eight of Wands. Things start moving really quickly once we embrace that purpose. Now, the repeat of the number 8 does also tell us, with the Strength card and the Eight of Wands, that we can be a little bit too serious about things during this time, emotionally, Sagittarius. We can feel that we have to play it right, or else everything is just going to fall apart. It could be a little bit of doom and gloom, or just not letting there be fun, laughter, joy within our lives. So the Eight of Wands is saying things are speeding up. But also, because of the repeat of the number 8, it's like, make room for play. Because we as human beings cannot play when we do not feel safe, when we do not feel secure. That's why people will say, like, when they've been through a trauma, I haven't laughed in such a long time. And that's why watching really funny movies and stuff like that can take us out of that mind space of trauma that we're in and help us to move forward. Because ready or not, this is coming. The Eight of Wands sweeps us up, and we need to start a new beginning. Emotionally, we need to hold our heads to the sun and say, I'm going after this. I'm going after what I love, what I desire, what I want, what I need, what I long for within my life. And the Fool is embracing this, is embracing this sense of there's more out here than I could ever have realized. And there's brilliance here for me. And then it moves us to the public arena. So show me deeply the public arena for Sagittarius. Show me deeply the public arena for Sagittarius. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. The Five of Cups. And the Five of Cups is change your minds and change your lives. That's it. It's like we can hide away, looking at everything that we have lost, everything that has fallen apart, every pain, every hurt, every disappointment. And would we have a right to do so? Absolutely. Absolutely. But would this destroy us? Yeah, it will. It will take away so much from us that life becomes pain. And pain will be our eternal existence. Turning around and seeing the Two of Cups, seeing the unity, seeing the healing, seeing the blessing that can be there. That's a game changer. And we have to embrace this game changer. If we want to be successful, if we want to be that queen, if we want to be that knight moving forward, we have to embrace the healing. If not, we don't have to at all. We can say, this is fine. This is as good as it's going to get, and I'm okay with that. And there's nothing wrong with that. The subconscious chakra message is communication. This is the throat chakra. We are going to be communicating more deeply and more profoundly with spirit, with ourselves, but also with people. So we're going to be reading people much more deeply than what they mean to be bringing to the table. So they'll think, okay, we're just having a conversation about this, and they won't know that they're bringing in the argument that they just had with their partner, or they're bringing in the disappointment from a phone call that they just had, or whatever energy, aura you're picking up on. So this is a time to be very careful, Sagittarius, because you're going to be reading more into a situation than that person's meaning to bring forward. So just be mindful of that. And also, when we communicate with spirit and with our inner souls and self, this becomes very important. It becomes very important to open up deeply to what we want and desire and how we're moving forward. Now this then brings us to our subconscious energy to be mindful of, and that's the Hermit. We have to be mindful of turning too deeply inward, going too deeply within ourselves, kind of falling down the rabbit hole. The Hermit is at our root. It's going to be a very comfortable place for us to be introspective and contemplative and looking at the greater ideas and the greater insights. But we can get too much in our own heads and look too profoundly and too intensely at our own counsel. And sometimes that's not a good thing. Sometimes we need to get out of our heads and we need to get to a place of action. Our subconscious root itself is the Four of Cups. Divinity is handing us a gift. God, Source, Spirit, again, however you say it, however you see it. And it's going to not feel like a gift. It's going to take us off the path that we want to be on. It can be a bit overwhelming, but there's profound understanding that comes from this gift being a part of our lives. It moves us then to our subconscious inner self. And that's the Three of Wands. There are new horizons. There's new bounty. There's new beauty that's opening itself up to us. Are we ready to take it? Subconsciously, yes, we are. But are we going to self-sabotage? Are we going to push things too far the way that we think they should go, instead of stepping back and say, well, what does Spirit want of me? Like, what's the connection to myself, to this world? And how do I build off of it? Our subconscious emotional self is the Ace of Wands. Now, we're represented by the Wands in the Minor Arcana. We're represented by Temperance in the Major Arcana. So the Ace of Wands is God's Source Spirit, however you see the divine, the universe, handing us a gift of passion, a gift of insights, a gift of power. This is the reason we get out of bed in the morning, and that's being renewed within us. A darkness is lifting, or a doubt, or a little bit of ennui is lifting, so that we can be able to embrace what we want, or to have that fire to keep on moving ourselves forward. It leads us to our subconscious public self. And that's the Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords protects the Queen of Swords. So the Queen of Swords is protected by emotion and by logic, by the heart and by the mind. And as we're charging forward towards what we want and what we desire, as we're cutting through doubts and fears, we are embracing and carving a new road for ourselves, a new power forward, new insight and new intensity. There's a fierceness to us, and there's this need for action, Sagittarius. We need to embrace it. And as we embrace it, we move forward within it. And it is a profound propellerance. Propellerance? Is that a word? It profoundly moves us forward. All right, Sagittarius. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I'm sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we conquer. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Sagittarius.